Good morning. It's Sunday, March 30th, around 7:30 a.m. in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. I guess this is why they call it the Great Smoky National Park. It is currently overcast with a breeze. It had been raining hard all night. The shelter was amazing. Probably slept the best I've slept on trail, just outside of going to some of these hostels, but it was a great night's sleep. They have a tarp that covers the shelter, so that makes it easier to keep the wind and rain out. It was great. And anyway, the rain's let up. It's supposed to pick up again around 2 p.m. So we're going to try to get 10 miles today to the next shelter so we can get out of this rain before it hits hard again. But it's going to be a good morning. Ready to get out there and get myself started. See you soon. All right, it's about 8:30 a.m. Getting ready to head out into this mess. This will be my first true test of my mental aptitude, I guess, because I don't really want to do it. It's raining pretty good right now. We got about 9.5 miles, 10 miles to go. To get to our shelter. A bit of climbing today, but we have two sayings in our group. Actually, one's in our group and one is one I've heard many times before. The first saying is start cold, so I'm definitely doing that. Even though I have a lot of gear on, I'm still cold. The breeze is blowing. And then there's a saying on the trail, no rain, no pain, no main. So today will be the first true test of whether I do well in the rain all day. Been trying to practice at home, but it's nothing like this. Plus, there's not a lot of climbing at home like there will be today. So, yeah, great Smoky Mountain National Forest, and you can see why they call it that because of this overcast. It's beautiful, really, but it's going to be hard getting out in there. I guess the best way to do it is to do it. So, here I go. It's about 9:25 in the morning, making our way to the next shelter for a bathroom break and just to probably take lower part of my zippy pants off. I have rain pants over the top, but I am sweating, believe it or not. So take a little breather there. I know Gretel is planning to do the same in Dodger. Surprisingly, the rain has let up. It's a steady drizzle, though I think some of the drops are coming from tree branches and then the others are coming from the sky, obviously. It's beautiful up here, obviously, and that's where I'm coming from. It's been a steady climb, but nothing major. We do have some bigger climbs after the shelter and before we get to our final destination for the night. So the Smokies don't disappoint. The Smokies and then the White Mountains in New Hampshire are the two areas of the trail that concern hikers the most because of the unpredictability of the weather. The Smokies elevation, I guess, is higher than most parts of the trail. Tomorrow we'll get to the highest point on the Appalachian Trail, which is 6,381 feet, I believe. That's Klingman's Dome, or whatever name it's going by now. I'll correct it tomorrow when I get there and I see it on the sign. But I think we're at about 4,500 elevation, where we had been down around to 3,000. So this weather, I guess, goes along with that. So you can typically expect rain when you're in the Smokies. At least that's what people from past hiking have told us, and sure enough, you know, we are experiencing that. One thing I want to talk about is it's crazy. You know, I've met a number of hikers, but I've probably met 3 or 4 hikers where this is like their 5th or 6th time hiking the Appalachian Trail. There's this one person at the last shelter who is on her 4th year in a row hiking this trail, and she plans on hiking it 2 more years in a row to make it 6 years in a row. She always starts in the south, hikes north, and there's one reason or another she's bound and determined to do it 6 years in a row. She's already done it 3, and this is her 4th, and she's plugging along. I asked her, since she's been doing it for a while, if she's at the point where she can hike big miles, and she said that she typically only hikes 12.5 miles. So yeah, who knows? There's some amazing people out here. We met another guy yesterday early on in the Smoky Mountains who's done the Triple Crown. That would be the Continental Divide Trail, Pacific Crest Trail, and the Appalachian Trail. But not only that, I think he's done the Pacific Crest Trail twice. Again, he's on his 4th or 5th time of the Appalachian Trail. So just amazing that they get out here and they do it that often. I'll tell you, I was concerned with how it handled the rain, and it really hasn't been that bad, though it hasn't been raining super hard. When it does, we're usually in a shelter. So I guess I haven't truly been tested yet, knock on wood. It could happen, and it could happen in the near future. But yeah, it's been a great time really enjoying my time out here. I miss home, I miss Gwen, I miss Nathan. Hope all is well back there with everybody. And I'm hoping that I can see this all the way through. For all of my friends and family that are supporting me back home. I'm getting a lot of notes from prior students from YouTube and then from friends as well, and I truly appreciate that. Thank you. Just makes me feel good to know that people are egging me along, because I've never had doubts and I've never had moments where I thought, oh, I don't want to do this. But at the same time, you know, if I do have those doubts in the future, it would be nice to know that people back home will kind of push me forward, because that would definitely be helpful. But it's beautiful out here, and yeah, just plugging along. I'm on a slight downhill right now, but I'll be climbing before I get to the next shelter. You know, the theme of these hikes out here, every day you're gonna have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 climbs, some of them awfully steep. But I think I'm getting conditioned to it. Yesterday, after our 15-mile day and we got into the shelter, I looked at my calves and they were bulging with veins and everything else. So I'm starting to get those crazy looking calves that I see on people that do this, as well as those people that do a lot of biking. So I guess I'll come home with huge calves like Pai Pai. Anyway, here we go. It's 10:30 and starting a climb. We're gonna have 2 or 3 big climbs coming up before we get to our next shelter. There's supposed to be a thunderstorm starting around 2 p.m. The others expect to get to the shelter around 12:30. I'll probably get in around 1 or 1:15 because I'm a bit slower. Hopefully I beat the storm. The rain's let up at the moment, though it has been a steady kind of stream this morning. Nothing serious, but yeah, we don't want to be out if there's a thunderstorm. So we're trying to dodge that, which is gonna make for an early day, but still I think 10.5 miles, which isn't bad hiking wise. Tomorrow we'll probably try to do 12 and then get into Gatlinburg early in the morning on Tuesday. So we'll see how it all plays out. But it's beautiful out here, still overcast. I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon. Trail is smooth at the moment, but mucky, so I have to be careful not to slide and fall in the mud. But all is still well, and continue to plug on. 11:15 a.m. hiking down off this latest climb. I have a few more climbs before I get to where I'm going. So about 4.5 miles out from the shelter we'll be staying at. Again, it's going to be an early day, but very drippy and wet today. Actually, I don't mind hiking in this weather because you stay cool as opposed to being overheated. And I am dressed appropriately for the drippiness and the rain, but I just thought this was a pretty part of the trail. So on the climb up, it looked like this a little bit, and now coming down, it looks like this. Again, the greenery, it's gotten really green up here in the Smokies over the last day or so. So it just kind of makes it have a jungle feel to it, and kind of like a rainforest, I guess. Maybe it is a rainforest, I don't know. Haven't looked that up yet, but all is well. Anyway, starting to get a little slick here and steep. So I'm gonna cut this off, but I just thought you'd like to see. It's about 2 p.m., maybe 2:30. I'm not really even looking at a watch right now. Just coming back up the hill from having collected water. The water source was a pipe that was pumping the water out pretty quickly, which was nice because yesterday it was just a little dribble and it had a leaf feeding the water. And so I was only able to get a half a bag. This one I got a full bag quickly. We're at Derek Knob's shelter in the Smoky Mountains. It's been a steady rain all day. It's let up a little bit now, and the shelter is a full house. It's packed full of people. Everybody coming in to stay dry. And there's I almost slipped. I've been doing that all day. Caught myself, thank goodness. But clothes are soaking wet for most all of us. I have these neoprene socks I bought, so I wore them all day over the top of regular wool socks, and so they kept my socks dry. I've been wearing my rain gear all day, so for the most part my clothing's dry, and I was able to change into my clothes I wear at night, so they are definitely dry, and I'm wearing my rain gear over them right now, which will allow my t-shirt and my wind shirt to dry out a little bit. But the fact of the matter is I'm probably going to start tomorrow off a little wet because they won't dry completely. Shoes are soggy, obviously. And yeah, tomorrow we're pushing for 13 miles, competing for space again with others, but all is well. There's Gretel. The water source is really good. Nice. It's a pipe pumping out the water. Great. So yeah, I might be able to show you the shelter with everybody packed in. I try not to invade upon people's privacy, so I don't always show all these things because sometimes people don't want to be on film. But today overall wasn't a bad day. 10.5 miles, a lot of slipping and sliding. Thankfully, I stayed on my feet for the most part. A lot of steep uphill, a lot of steep downhill. Tomorrow, the weather's supposed to be worse. It's supposed to be like a monsoon type thing with a lot of rain all day. So there's worry about that. We're gonna get to Klingsman's Dome, which is the highest point on the Appalachian Trail. So that should be exciting, but it might be a day of misery and wet. We'll have to see how it plays out. But for now, you know, we're safe and we're warm. They have a tarp over this one. I'll show you the outside here. Again, stone structure, but I probably won't take you inside. Good night from Derek Knob Shelter. Trying to stay warm and dry. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. It's supposed to be 2 inches of rain, so yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But on a positive note, if we do get out there, we'll get 200 miles and we'll get to Klingsman's Dome, the highest point on the AT. Have a good night. Sunny out.